Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of English for Beginners, the podcast. I am Jasmine, and I am so happy to be sitting here in the studio today.
And I am Mark. It is great to be here with you, Jasmine, and with all our listeners around the world.
Today we have a very special topic. It is a topic that even advanced students sometimes struggle with. We are talking about two tiny words, do and make.
Oh, those two. They are so short. Only 2 letters for do and 4 letters for make, but they cause so many headaches. I remember when I was traveling, I heard someone say, "I am making my homework." And I thought, wait, that sounds a little bit strange.
It does sound strange to a native speaker, but it is a very common mistake. In many languages, like Spanish, Italian, or French, there is only one word for both do and make. So when students speak English, they don't know which one to pick. It feels like a guessing game.
Exactly. But today, we are going to take the guessing out of the game. We are going to give you the feel for these words. Jasmine, before we look at the rules, let's talk about our morning. How was your start to the day?
My morning was very productive, Mark. I woke up at 7 o'clock. I stayed home because I had a lot of chores to finish. First, I made breakfast for my family. I made some eggs and toasted some bread. Then I cleaned the kitchen and replied to many emails. What about you?
My morning was much faster than yours. I woke up late because I forgot to set my alarm. I jumped out of bed and did my exercises very quickly. I usually spend 30 minutes on my workout, but today I only did 10 minutes. After that, I rushed to the kitchen to make a coffee before running out the door.
Stop right there, Mark. Did you hear that, listeners? Mark used both words perfectly in just a few sentences. He said he did his exercises, but he made a coffee. Mark, why did you say did for exercises?
Well, Jasmine, when I think about do, I think about an action or a routine. Exercising is an activity I perform. I'm moving my body, but I am not creating a physical object that stays there when I'm finished. When I finish my push-ups, there is no new thing on the floor.
That is a perfect way to explain it. Let's look at do more closely. We use do for work, jobs, and tasks. These are things you complete. Think about your to-do list. You have a list of tasks and you do them one by one. For example, I do the laundry. I do the dishes. I do the shopping.
And don't forget school. Students always do their homework. They do their assignments. They do their reports. If you're a scientist, you do research. If you're a doctor, you do an exam on a patient. It's all about the process of working.
That is right. Now let's compare that to make. Mark, you said you made a coffee. Why make?
Because when I started, I just had some water and some brown coffee beans. But after I finished my action, I had a hot drink and a cup. I created something. I produced a result. Whenever you create, build, or prepare something, you should reach for the word make.
I love that. Make is for creators. If you are in the kitchen, you are usually making something. You make lunch, you make a sandwich, or you make a delicious chocolate cake. If you are a carpenter, you make a table or a chair. You're taking materials and turning them into something new.
So if do is for the activity and make is for the result, what happens when we talk about things that aren't physical objects? This is where it gets a bit tricky for beginners.
You're thinking about plans and decisions, right? Even though a plan isn't a physical object you can hold like a cake, we still use make. We say, I make a plan for the weekend, or I need to make a decision about my new job. Why? Because you are producing a result. You are creating a path where there was no path before.
That makes sense. It's like you're building an idea. What about feelings? I often hear people say things like, "You make me happy."
Yes, feelings are a huge part of using make. Think of it this way. You are causing a feeling to happen. If I give you a gift, I make you smile. If a movie is very sad, it makes you cry. Some students say, "This weather does me sad," but that is incorrect. We must say, "The rain makes me sad."
I like that. Make causes a reaction. Let's move the conversation to the office or the workplace. Many of our listeners are learning English because they want a better job. Jasmine, how do we use these words at work?
Work is a great place to practice this. Most general work activities use do. You do your job, you do business with other companies, you do paperwork. But when you are talking about progress or specific results, you switch to make. For example, I made a mistake in the spreadsheet, or we made a profit this year.
Oh, make a mistake is a classic one. Even though making a mistake is an action, we always use make. It's one of those fixed expressions in English. You just have to memorize it. You make a mistake. You don't do a mistake.
Exactly. And what about make money? People always want to do money, but in English, you make money. You are producing wealth. It's a result of your hard work.
This is why we call this real English. Sometimes the rules have exceptions, and you just have to hear the phrases over and over again until they sound right in your ears. Jasmine, let's talk about social life. When I want to meet my friends, what do I say?
Well, first you have to make a phone call, then you make an arrangement to meet at a restaurant. Once you're there, you make conversation and you make jokes to have fun.
And hopefully, if you're kind and funny, you make many new friends.
Exactly. Notice that all of those involve creating a connection or a result. You create a call, you create a plan, and you create a friendship. Now, Mark, let's test our listeners. I am going to describe a situation, and you tell me if we use do or make.
I'm ready. Let's see if I can get them all right.
Okay, situation 1. You are in the kitchen. You have flour, sugar, and eggs. You are putting them in the oven. What are you doing?
I am making a cake. I'm creating something sweet.
Correct. Situation 2. Your house is very messy. There's dust on the shelves and dirt on the floor. You pick up a sponge and a bucket. What are you doing?
I am doing the cleaning. It's a chore, a task, and part of my routine.
Perfect. Situation 3. You have a big problem. You have 2 choices and you have to pick one. What are you doing?
I am making a choice, or I am making a decision. It's a result in my mind.
You are on a roll, Mark. Last one. You have a lot of school books on your desk. You are writing answers to questions your teacher gave you. What are you doing?
I am doing my homework. It's my duty as a student.
You got 4 out of 4. Listeners, how did you do at home? If you got them right, give yourself a pat on the back. If you got some wrong, don't worry. This is a process.
You know, Jasmine, I think it helps to think about do as being about the time you spend and make as being about what you have at the end.
That is a very smart way to put it. Do is the journey, and make is the destination. Let's talk about some more expressions that confuse people. What about do a favor?
That is an interesting one. When you help someone, you do them a favor. It is an action you perform for someone else. You don't make a favor.
Right. And what about do your hair or do your nails?
Those are part of a beauty routine. Since they are routines, we use do. Every morning, I do my hair. Well, what is left of it.
You look great, Mark. Now, let's talk about make a noise. If you are being very loud, are you doing a noise or making a noise?
You are making a noise. You are creating a sound that wasn't there before. Like when I drop my keys on the floor, they make a loud sound.
Exactly. I want to tell our beginners something very important. Sometimes you will forget the rule. You will be in a conversation and you will say, I did a cake instead of I made a cake. Do you know what will happen?
Let me guess. Nothing bad?
Exactly. Nothing bad will happen. The person you are talking to will still understand you. They will know you mean a delicious dessert. Communication is more important than being 100% perfect. We call this brave English.
I love that term, brave English. It means you are not afraid to make mistakes. In fact, when you make a mistake, you are actually learning. Your brain says, oh, that wasn't quite right, and next time it will try something different.
That is so true. Here at English for Beginners, the podcast, we want you to be brave. Don't wait until your English is perfect to start speaking. If you wait for perfection, you will never start.
Jasmine, I have a question about do. What about when we use it to talk about nothing? For example, I am doing nothing today.
That is a classic. Do is used for general, non-specific activities. If you are not busy, you say, I am doing nothing. You can also ask, what are you doing? We use do for anything that is an action but doesn't have a specific name yet.
So do is the king of general actions and make is the queen of specific creations.
That is a fun way to remember it. Let's talk about time for a moment. Time is very important in English. Mark, if you are very busy but you want to see a friend, what do you say?
I say, I will make time for you. Even though time is already there, I am creating a space in my busy schedule.
Exactly. You make time. You don't do time. Unless you are in prison, but that is a different story.
Let's hope our listeners aren't doing time. Let's focus on making time for English. Just by listening to this podcast, you are making an effort to improve your life.
Make an effort. That's another great one, Mark. You are creating energy toward a goal. You're also making progress. Every minute you spend listening to us, your brain is getting used to the rhythm of the English language.
It's like exercise. You do the work and you make the muscles.
Wow, Mark, you are full of great metaphors today. Let's go through a list of daily activities and see which word we use. I'll start. In the morning, you make the bed.
Then you do some stretching to wake up your body.
Then you go to the kitchen to make breakfast and make some tea.
After breakfast, you have to do the dishes so the kitchen is clean.
Then you might have to do some laundry if you have dirty clothes.
If you're a student, you sit down and do your best to study.
If you are a parent, you might make a promise to take your kids to the park later.
And at the park, the children will make friends with other kids.
If the weather is bad and it starts to rain, it might make the children sad.
So you go home and make a plan to watch a movie instead.
While watching the movie, you make some popcorn to eat.
After the movie, you do your evening routine like brushing your teeth.
And finally, you go to sleep so you can do it all again tomorrow.
That was a perfect day of doing and making. It shows that these words are everywhere. You cannot escape them, so you might as well become their friend.
That is the spirit. Now, before we finish this episode of English for Beginners, the podcast, I want to talk about doing your best. This is a very common phrase. Mark, what does do your best mean to you?
To me, it means that you don't have to be the best in the world. You just have to try as hard as you can. If you are learning English and you learn just one new word today, you are doing your best.
I agree. And when you do your best, we make us very proud. We see people from all over the world, from Brazil, from Japan, from Germany, from Mexico, all trying to learn this language. It's a bridge that connects us all.
It really is. English is a tool. When you learn how to use do and make, you are sharpening that tool. You are making it easier to express your feelings and share your ideas.
Let's finish with a little bit of advice for our beginners. If you are ever stuck and you don't know which word to use, take a deep breath. Think, am I talking about a task or a creation? If you still don't know, just pick one.
That's right. Don't let the fear of a small word stop you from having a big conversation.
We're almost at the end of our time today. We want to thank you for listening to English for Beginners, the podcast. We know you have many choices for how to spend your time, and we are honored that you chose to spend it with us.
Before we go, we have a small task for you, something for you to do. We want you to look at your life today. What is one thing you do every day that makes you happy? And what is one thing you want to make in the future? Maybe you want to make a new career or make a beautiful garden.
Write your answers down. Even if you just write them in a notebook for yourself, it is great practice. If you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe to our podcast and share it with a friend who is also learning.
Every like and every share helps us to make more episodes.